Hello viewers, today I'm going to be showing off some of the peculiarities with the Cisco CP8831 and how I've configured it. It probably has mostly to do with that. Also in this video you'll be seeing this thing, the CS6114, Cisco CP8845, and the Mitel 5360. So let's get started. So this phone, these require an entire script to be configured. To demonstrate, I'm not going to switch over to my screen cap. I'm just going to show some things. So like this XML file is what configures the phone. Now, there is an add-on that you can install for Asterisk that emulates some of the functions of the CUCM. However, I do not have that installed and probably am not going to get that installed because, let's just say, last time I did it, I bricked my system, so we're not going to mess with it. And if I do mess with it, I am definitely going to make a backup before I do it. Anyway, so we have the 8831. Here's its little display module. Now, first of all, this, I think, shares designs from Revo Labs, and in fact, I think they did part of the firmware on this, maybe. However, as you can see, this still is a Cisco Enterprise registered phone. As you can see, this is what the Cisco Enterprise phone web page looks like if you have the web server turned on, which is an option that you do have to enable in the script. One moment. You have to set the web admin to 1. So let me pause this again. Anyway, that's what turns on the web server. Now, I've tried configuring this with DHCP. It has not worked. And in fact, it causes problems with my DHCP server, which we're not going to get into at the moment. But, so instead, what I actually end up having to do is go into here, go into admin settings, go into network setup, IPv4 config, and actually having to set an alternative TFTP so that it pulls off that server. This one, this guy right here, I could very easily configure it with the DHCP options. It was very readily available online. So if you do know the string I need to put into option 43 or whatever to get this to go to the TFTP server, because for some reason option 50 or option 150 just causes problems on my system. It doesn't replicate properly on the DHCP server. Maybe that's my config, I don't know. But anyway, so another peculiarity about this, and this has to do with my config, is the dialing. Dialing takes, so you dial the number and it waits 15 seconds to time out. And that has to do with the fact that I don't have a dial plan defined on this. I probably should, but last time I tried that, I bricked the config and had to start back from an earlier version. As you can see, a lot of this is just trial and error with this system. And that's going to be a theme throughout this entire system's life, is trial and error. So my solution for this is I just have my internal DISA number stored in the redial queue at all times, pretty much. I hit redial. Well, I rebooted the phone, so it's no longer in the redial queue, but... And you see after 15 seconds it'll go through, and then we can demonstrate the fact that I keep this in the redial queue. There we go. Now, another thing that's weird about this and its registration is when I dial its number on this or this, it only displays the extension number. It doesn't actually display the name, the description that I've set. Whereas with all my other devices, it will do that. So, for example, let's dial the 8845 next to me. Ringing Cisco CP. Hello. Goodbye. Now, maybe it's different on this. Now if I dial this, okay, it does a different thing on this, but on these, as you can see, it says MyTel 5360, and that's not a phone book entry I've programmed in the phone. That's its name on the PBX. But if I actually dial the number correctly, as you can see, it shows the name for a second, but then it goes away and just says 8831. Now this actually will display the name. Actually, I don't think it does, actually. I do have to do this as a direct dial. I can't do it from the DISA because it doesn't rewrite the number. So it doesn't rewrite the extension number or rewrite the extension name on it. However, caller ID does in fact work. Blinking light. Blinking lights. So that does work. As well as voicemail indication. Voicemail indication does work on this phone. So some other things that I've configured. So my ring list. This is configured via TFTP file on my TFTP server, as well as there are some files in the same directory. So these Sunrise, I think Ascent, yep, Ringer, and Reflections. And that is actually, those aren't actually their names, as you can see if we go into user preferences on here. I go into ringtone. Of course, you have Sunrise. This isn't very loud. Ascent. I did not set it to Ascent. Ascent is the same one. And then Reflections. So they probably changed the name maybe because, again, Cisco didn't fully develop firmware for this. I don't know. I do know that the Polycom rebranded Cisco conference phones do have Polycom ringtones on them instead of like Chirp One and stuff like that. But that could also just be your CUCM config. But I mean, outbound caller ID on this works as well, just fine. Let's dial 0. This number, and I picked up. I do have the DISA set up to go back to the DISA when you hang up, and it's the same on this phone. As you can hear, if I hang up, it goes back to the DISA. But anyway, yeah, and then another thing that this doesn't is conference. So let's get a call going between this phone and this phone. We're going to originate from here. Okay, no, wrong extension. That's the... And then let's say I want to try to originate a conference from here. So I tab over, of course, we have to. And I'm connected over here. But if I try to conference the two calls, you can hear this guy's still on hold, and this guy's still on hold. So it didn't actually join. It didn't actually start the conference. Another thing that it does whenever I have a call on hold and then I hang up. So let's get two calls going again. So then let's get a call in. Sorry about that. And then I get another call in. So, as you can see, we have two calls on hold. Now I'm going to hang up on this call. Every time that it drops the call, it goes back to the next one. And it kind of lets you know that you have a call on hold still. And now it's in recall even, oh. Anyway, that's kind of that demonstration. What else? What other peculiarities does this work? Things like D&D only mutes the ringer in this case. This messages soft key doesn't work. This contact soft key doesn't work. Forward all doesn't work. You have to do that with the star code on the asterisk PBX. No speed dials. This does work. So as you can see, there are some things missing from this, but it works, and that's really all I care about right now, is the fact that I have this working as an enterprise phone on my PBX. And I really do like this phone a lot. I do like the design. I do think that this is actually a very interesting way to do this. Instead of having it all integrated into the box itself, you have your separate module right here, like kind of like this thing, but it's hardwired, or this, but it's hardwired in. Voicemail also works, and in fact, kind of like how these behave with the voicemail indicator, where it lights this. This lights the speakerphone light on this, on the keypad. Trying to think of anything else. Not much else that I can say, but anyway, other than that, thank you for watching and have a good day. And before I finish out the video, if you want to know how I got this working on my system, I have a video that you can check out. This is just converted to Cisco, to the MPP firmware. I just got this one off of eBay. It originally came with enterprise firmware. This was before I was able to figure out how to convert these, or how to get my TFTP server working. So I figured it would just be more, there would be less pain in trying to get this configured. Oh, something else that this one does, it knows that this one doesn't have video. Sometimes this thing tries to enable video when there is none. So for example, with my Yay links, let me see if I can actually get it to do it with the Mitel. Oh, it also knows that this one doesn't have video. I know for a fact it does it with my Yay links, and I know for a fact it does it. It doesn't do it with the ATA. But I think that might just have to do with the fact that this is Sapura firmware and the ATA is Sapura firmware. Maybe, I don't know. But other than that, I'm trying. That's kind of a little bit of some of the quirks that this thing has on my Asterisk system. Maybe eventually I will try again with the use call manager patch, but for now I am going to stick with just the way I have it set up because it's working. Sometime I would like to get this fixed, the date time fixed, so that it's not just on UTC, but it really doesn't bother me because I have these, and these also tell the time. This thing acts weird on the time, so I don't know how often it syncs, but it can fall like 30 seconds behind, which is strange. Another weird thing, so I have this shared line programmed in, but when I dial numbers out of it, it doesn't ring out of that, it rings out of 5360. Even though this is clearly 5356. So, I don't know. I've tried to get BLS working on here, and I have not had any success with that. If you know how to get BLS working on these 5300 phones running on Asterisk, maybe shoot me a comment. But, anyway, other than that, I may soon be getting another enterprise phone that I can mess with, just to test to see if this was just not a one-off or whatever, and I actually got this down. But I'm trying. Other than that, because I don't want to convert these back to enterprise. I already paid enough to convert them to MPP. I don't want to pay for the license to convert them back. So anyway, that's that. Check out my affiliate links. I should be updating them sometime soon. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions or any feedback on this, please leave a comment. Other than that, have a good day. Thank you.